ready to today's and welcome to a very busy Robin Hood festival. Hi guys, we're just on our way to the Open Air Theatre and we're going to see a play. Oh, and there's all sorts of different things you can see here.
So what do you think so far to the place, Lauren?
Quite good since I've last been.
Well, there's a lot more to do today, isn't there?
Yeah. I wonder if there's archery.
There should be archery.
Yay! Yes, there's that, but like, trying to fight for the bullseye.
As you can
and
see.
if I do, I'll be great. I've never done that before.
This is where we're going.
Yeah. Follow with the people.
Have you got anything else you'd like to add, or should we come back later?
Come back later.
Okay, see you in a bit.
In the Open Air Theatre today on the Wednesday, the jousting day of the Sherwood Forest Festival. Yeah. Now, I've just got a little bit of information to give you about this first show before we actually start. Is there anyone in here who's already seen one of our shows? Good lad. Quite a few of you. It's quite rare because people don't usually come back, to be honest with you. Well, if you've never seen one of our shows before, I'd better give you a whole load of information. Our first performance today is called Robin Hood and the Silver Arrow. And I am going to tell you the tale of Robin Hood and the Silver Arrow. But I am extremely lazy. And I'm only going to tell the tale. I'm going to ask you, out of the audience, to play all of the parts. Now, if this story is called Robin Hood and the Silver Arrow, would anybody like to guess who is in this story? Who might be in? Which characters might be in this story? Madam?
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood! Good answer. You know, when you said Robin Hood then, I thought everybody here would cheer, but they didn't. Shall we try it again? So you say it again?
Robin Hood.
Hey!
Perfect. So we've got Robin Hood. Who else might be in this story? Yes, madam. Little John. We've got Robin Hood. We've got Little John. Who else? Friar Tuck. Do you know, I'm always relieved when we've got Friar Tuck out of the way, due to the fact that one day we had a spoonerism. Okay, so we've got Friar Tuck. We've got Little John. We've got Robin Hood. Yes. We've got Maid Marian. Yes, sir.
Sheriff.
The Sheriff of... Do you know where he's from?
No.
Anyone know where he's from? Yes, yes, yes.
Nottingham.
The Sheriff of Nottingham, and he's got an evil... You have been here before, haven't you? And he's got an evil, wicked friend. Sir... You can do it all together. Sir Guy of... Fantastic. Now, as an audience, you've got to know who the good guys are and who the bad guys are. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a test before we start. I'm going to say the name of either a goodie or a baddie. If you think they're good, I want a huge cheer. If you think they're bad, I want a really loud boo. Okay, everyone roll your shoulders, get ready. Get warmed up. Okay, are we ready? I'll start you easy. Robin Hood!
Hey!
The Sheriff of Nottingham! You lot are good. Maid Marian!
Hey!
Sir Guy of Gisborne! Little John! Friar Tuck! Sheriff of Nottingham! Marvellous. Now you're all on the ball, I can see that. So, now it's time to find out how you volunteer to be in the show. It's complicated, so watch carefully. You volunteer like this. Okay, let's try it, I tell you what, everyone get one arm like this, get one arm like this. And when I say now, try the volunteering, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, you can join in as well. It works on the bingo wings. I'm only talking personally, but there you go. Lovely. Are you all right, children?
Yeah.
Pop your bottoms down. Don't worry about the dirt and the dust. You haven't had a day in the forest unless you go home dirty. Okay, is that right, parents? Lovely. Okay, let's get ready. When I say now, throw your arm in the air. Ready, steady, now. Marvellous. Ready, steady, now. I think you can start speeding it up. Ready, steady, now. Good. Ready, steady, not now. I got you all. So as we go through, we'll ask you to volunteer. once you volunteered, we'd ask you to put on a bit of a costume. We'll tell you what to say. If you need a sword, you get a sword. If you need a horse, you get a horse. If you need to fight, you need to fight, and so on. I'm going to need my first volunteer. Now, who am I going to have? You, sir. Head this way. Stand just here. And what's your name? Look that way, Alexander. Say,
I am Alexander.
Can you all hear him? Is that your dad waving at the back there? I think it was. Is that Dad? It is Dad, I can tell. It's great having kids, isn't it? Yeah. I am Alexander.
I am Alexander.
And today,
I'm
in charge.
in charge.
Everybody here,
Raise your arms
in the air.
in the air.
Come on, adults.
Come on, adults.
I said everybody.
I said everybody. Now wave them.
Harder,
Harder.
harder,
Harder. Oh, well done.
And a round of applause for Alexander, my first voice checker. Sir, you have a great voice. Don't forget to volunteer when we start the show for real. Sit yourself down for now. I'm going to need one more voice checker, perhaps a young lady. Up you come, young lady. And I already know your name because you are Freya, is that not right? Freya, at this tender age, has probably done as many shows as I have. Lovely. Now,
I am Freya.
and today,
And today,
I'm the Queen.
I'm the Queen.
Everybody here,
Everybody here,
bow your heads
bow your heads
to me.
to me.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Some of you
Some of you
are going to have
are going to have
your heads chopped off.
your heads chopped off.
Some of you obviously didn't bow to Queen Freya. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Queen Freya. Could you hear both Freya and Alexander all right, yes?
Yeah.
Marvellous. So I think it's almost time to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you very much for stopping in this beautiful glade to listen to my tale. I am here today to tell you a story of a great man, a good man, a man you've probably all heard of. A man called Robin Hood. Have you heard of him?
Yeah.
I am going to tell you how he became an outlaw and how also he became known as the finest archer in the land, whilst foiling a deadly trap set for him by those two evil enemies. Get ready to boo. The Sheriff of Nottingham and Sir Guy of Gisborne. How does this old fool know all this, I hear you ask? How does this old fool know all this? Some of you need to learn a bit yet, don't you? But you'll get there, don't worry. I am Mrs. Bottom, Rosie to my friends, and I am Robin Hood's storyteller. Now, my story begins when Robin was just a young man, and as I've already told you, to tell my tale, I am going to need the help of lots and lots of you. So first of all, I'm going to need someone to be the man himself. I'm going to need someone to be Robin Hood. Oh, just before I continue, girls, don't wait for a girl's part, because there's one. So put your hand up for absolutely any of the parts. Girls, oh that's good, I've got girls' hands up now. So just to prove my point, I will have this young lady here as Robin Hood. Give her a cheer. So you're going to see Lenny. And I'm also going to need Robin Hood's dad, Alexander. Can I use you? Because you are great, over you go. And I'm also going to need the wicked, evil, cruel Sir Guy of Gisborne. Up you come, you look like you could be evil, wicked and cruel. Is that right, Dad?
100%.
Your dad's nodding very, very ferociously. Now, as I say, my story begins when Robin was just a young man. And the story begins with his father, the Earl of Locksley. Now, the Earl of Locksley was a very wealthy landowner. Your Majesty, come over here. A very wealthy landowner. He owned vast areas of land, and on this land was lots and lots of good hunting. And it was this hunting land that first drew the attention of Sir Guy of Gisborne. speak to Locksley.
Locksley, I want to buy your land.
It's not for sale.
I'll give you a good price for it.
Are you deaf?
Clothiers?
It's not for sale. Gisborne wasn't happy with this and he stormed out. A bit more of a flounce, really, wasn't it? However, he wasn't going to give up so easily. He had to come up with an idea. Idea. Deer. That was it. It was forbidden to kill the king's deer. He would kill one of the king's deer and blame it on Locksley's son, Robin Hood. He would then go to the old man and tell him that unless he sold him his land, he would have his son hanged. Now you're getting there. It was a desperate plan, and one he wasn't going to face the old man with alone. He decided to go back with a bodyguard. I'm going to need a bodyguard. Who's going to be my bodyguard? I'll have you, sir. Up you come. And I'll have you, madam, right on the end there. Over you come. Go over and see my friend Lenny. Over you go. Over you go, sweetie. His bodyguards usually wore pink hats with Hello Kitty written on. With these men to back him up, Gisborne returned to the Earl of Locksley. Over you come, Gisborne. Over you come, Gisborne.
Your son is a thief.
You're a liar.
No man calls me a liar. And lives.
This was fighting talk. Gisborne drew his sword. Oh, quite ferociously. Locksley drew his sword. Oh, even more so. And a terrible sword fight began. Off you go, you two. Not too hard, bish bash. Every now and again, just every now and again, the swords clashed, which caused the household to come and watch the fight. And they all cheered for Locksley. Locksley. It was a ferocious fight that moved all around the hall, all around the building. They were moving so fast that they looked like they were stood in the same position the whole time. This one was much stronger than Locksley, and soon the Earl of Locksley, I'm moving you into position for the death, the Earl of Locksley was killed. Somewhat reluctantly. Gisborne, sort of going against the run of play there, really. Gisborne had won. Unknown to Gisborne, all this was being watched by Locksley's son, Robin Hood. Robin couldn't believe what he'd seen, and he leapt to his feet. That was more of a little canter, wasn't it? Go back down just to here, and when I say leap, I want you to leap forward, okay? You ready? Get your muscles ready. He leapt to his feet! Yay! He ran at Gisborne and he shouted, "Murderer!" He was going to attack him, but Gisborne was too quick for him. He shouted to his guards, "Seize him!
Seize him!
The guards grabbed hold of Robin Hood. Sort of.
Throw him out!
They threw Robin out. Gently. Gisborne then spoke to the assembled people. Turn and face the audience. Listen to me, you peasants.
Listen to me, you peasants.
I declare
Robin Hood, an outlaw. If anyone hurts him, or even kills him, they will not be in trouble. This is law.
This is law. With those words, Gisborne had condemned Robin to the life of an outlaw. Well satisfied with his day's work, he took his 2 soldiers and went on a tour of his new estates. Over you go, chaps, and as well as you, sir, up on your feet, raised from the dead, and over you go. Can I have a round of applause for my first performers, please? What now was to happen to poor Robin? Orphaned? Homeless? Oh, Lord! Robin didn't know what to do, so he ran into Sherwood Forest. He didn't run in quite fast fast enough, so he ran back again. He ran into Sherwood Forest once more. All this running about wore Robin out, and he soon fell to the forest floor and went fast asleep. He was so fast asleep that he didn't notice the approach of 4 heavily armed men. I'm going to need some of the merry men. Get your hands up for the volunteering again. I'll have you two. Over you go. And I will have young man just there. And I will have young... Let me look for a young lady on this side. I'll have young lady just there. Over you go. These men moved through the forest with a practiced ease. They moved slowly. They moved stealthily. They were dressed totally in Lincoln green, so you would not have been able to see them as they moved through the forest. Where have you gone? Chaps, come this way. We're still creeping up at the moment. You go on the end, just there, sir. Where is she? Oh, she's there. On your tiptoes, chaps. They crept closer and closer to the sleeping Robin. They stopped to have a little chat. What do you think, Much?
What do you think, Much?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Who is it?
Who is it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Shall we wake him up?
Shall we wake him up?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Summoning all of his courage, one of the men crept even closer to the sleeping Robin. He nudged him with his foot. Gently! Robin woke with a start. The man ran back to his friends. Robin came forward and he said,
Who are you?
I don't know.
I don't know. We asked the questions. Who are you? I'm an outlaw.
When they heard this, the 4 men burst into fits of laughter. We'll go ho, ho, ho. They thought that was hysterical.
How come a posh young man like you is an outlaw? Gisborne.
On hearing that name, the 4 men shuddered. Give me a shudder. They'd all had dealings with Gisborne before. Robin went on to explain how Gisborne had killed his father, stolen his land, made him an outlaw. Eventually, Robin said,
Can I join your band? It's a hard life.
Especially in the winter.
Especially in the winter.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Can you use a sword?
Can you use a sword?
Yes.
Yes.
And a bow?
And a bow?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't care.
I don't care.
What I have to do,
What I have to do,
as long as I get even
as long as I get even
with Gisborne.
with Gisborne.
As long as I get even with Gisborne. Those were the magic words. Those were the words that convinced these men Robin really was on their side. They decided to accept him into their band and they shook him by the hand. Shake hands. They patted him on the back, gently, and they took him off to their hideout in the forest. Over you go, chaps, that way. Marvellous. To a massive round of applause. Now, it wasn't long before Robin became leader of these men, and under his leadership, they caused no end of trouble for Sir Guy of Gisborne and the Sheriff of Nottingham. But one day, something happened which made Gisborne and the Sheriff even more determined to lay their hands on Robin Hood. Robin was standing in a clearing in Sherwood Forest on a lovely day just like today, when one of his men came running up to him. Nice run.
Robin!
I've just come from Nottingham.
I've just come from Nottingham.
Gisborne is to be married.
Gisborne is to be married. Who wants to marry him?
That's just it.
That's just it.
No one wants to.
No one wants to.
I'll tell you about it
I'll tell you about it
as we go back to the others.
as we go back to the others.
As the men returned to camp, Robin's man told him what was going on. Gisborne was up to his old land grabbing tricks again. He had persuaded a wealthy old landlord, his daughter Marion's hand in marriage, knowing that when the old man died, it would be he who inherited the land and not Marion. Now Robin, who happened to be a bit of a forward thinker, a bit of a new man, he thought this was outrageous and decided something had to be done. I am now going to need some more people. I'm going to need the evil, wicked Crawl. Show me evil, you lot. That's too frightening. Evil, I'll have you, sir. Marvellous, up you come. You can do evil for me. Stand just here. Look at the audience. It's going to be a tough crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you the Sheriff of Nottingham. Over you go, Sheriff. Over you go. And I'm also going to need the beautiful, the gorgeous, the amazing Maid Marian. I will have you, madam. Over you go. And I'd better have a few more soldiers. Have I got a few more soldiers out there? I will have young man here, and I will have just there. Up you go and see my friend Lenny. Now the day of Gisborne's wedding dawned. The sheriff and Gisborne were waiting in the chapel. With them was their soldiers. Sheriff, I can ask you to stand just there for me. Lovely. You're the best man, so you better stand next to the groom. With them were their soldiers. Can I have the soldiers? Lovely. If you head over to the red mat for me. All the way to the red mat, and you can sit yourself down for a moment. Gisborne was nervous. It was, after all, his wedding day, and you only get married 2 or 3 times, don't you? Eventually, the Maid Marian arrived. And as she walked into the chapel, the entire congregation cooed and sniffed back a tear. That was horrible. The priest went through the service and he was just about to announce them man and wife when there was a noise at the edge of the door and in came Robin Hood! The sheriff shouted to his guards, "Seize him!" They were like coil springs, come here. But before they could get too close, in came the merry men!
Hooray!
And the merry men all stood there, like this. I'm apologising for this joke in advance. They were armed to the teeth. Don't blame me, I didn't write this rubbish. Robin spoke to the Maid Marian. Where is she? There she is. Lovely. Take you to her.
Do you want to marry this man? Do you want to marry this man? Of course she does! Shut up, you! I'm talking to the lady. Well, do you? No. Would you like to live in the forest with us? Yes.
I'll teach you to use a sword.
I'll teach you to use a sword.
And a bow.
And a bow.
And you'll be as good as any of us.
And you'll be as good as any of us.
Alright then.
Alright then.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Let's go, big boy.
Let's go, big boy.
And off they went! Hurrah! Soldiers were so fed up that they sat down on a convenient red mat. The sheriff and Gisborne were furious! In a slow, smouldering, British sort of a way. That's it! That's it! I want him dead! I don't think you need this, do you? I have a plan. Listen. And the sheriff indeed did have a plan. His plan was this. He decided he would have a grand feast day for all the people of Nottingham. Hooray! There would be music, there'd be jesting, there'd be jousting. But most important of all, there would be a grand archery competition. And the sheriff offered the prize of an arrow. The people of Nottingham were known for their sarcasm. This was no ordinary arrow. No. This was an arrow made of solid silver. They knew that when Robin heard of this challenge, he would enter. And they were right. Some of us said, Robin, don't go, it's a trap. But he just nodded and smiled. I suppose we should have known he'd have a trick or two up his sleeve. The day of the competition and the festival arrived, and the people of Nottingham were really happy! The first event of the day was to be a joust in the highest degree between two armoured mounted knights. I'm going to need two armoured mounted knights. Yes, madam, just there, please. Stand there, please. And I'm going to need another knight. Yes, sir, stand just here. Gisborne, you can go and rest yourself on the mat for a moment. Sheriff, I need you to be in control of the event. Sit yourself down there, Marvellous. Now, this joust was between two of the finest knights the land could offer. They would be mounted on superb war horses. They would ride at each other in the lists and try and dismount their opponent. The crowd were very partisan, and they each had their own particular favourites. Everyone over here, I would like you please to give a cheer for your champion, the White Knight! You might be in trouble. Let's show him how to do it. I would like you please to give a cheer for your champion, the Black Knight! Sheriff was in charge of proceedings. The knights faced each other down the list. Their horses pawed the floor. Can you do that? Well done. The crowd began to chant for their favourite. White Knight! White Knight! White Knight! Black Knight! White Knight! Black Knight! They got louder! And louder! And louder! The sheriff lifted his arm! He tapped his arm! They charged! The crowd roared! Both knights were still mounted. The White Knight had lost his helmet, but he was not injured. It was time for the second pass. Once again, the crowd tried to chant for their favourite. White Knight! White Knight! White Knight! Black Knight! They clapped their hands! They got louder! And louder! And louder! The sheriff lifted his arm! He tapped his arm! They charged! The crowd went wild! Both knights were still mounted. The sheriff spoke.
There'll be a third pass.
A third pass? A third pass? The people of Nottingham never heard of this before. They shivered in anticipation. Told you you'd get the hang of it, you're there. Once again, the knights faced each other. The crowd started to chant for their favourite, but quietly at first. White Knight, Black Knight, White Knight, Black Knight. They started to clap their hands. They got louder.
White Knight, White Knight.
And louder. And louder. And louder. The sheriff lifted his arm. He clapped his arm and charged. Both knights were still mounted. The crowd shouted, "We don't believe it! We don't believe it!" The sheriff spoke to the crowd.
All of you who think the White Knight won, cheer now. All of you who think the Black Knight won, cheer now. The White Knight's the winner.
Boo! They're only kids! And just to prove that they were all good sports, they gave both knights a big cheer. The knights retired to their dressing tents, where they rubbed down their wounds and rubbed down the horses. I'm not quite sure what they rubbed down first, but they were anyway. Everybody was fine. Now the day was going well, and the archery competition was going swimmingly. There were now just 3 men left in the competition. One of them was a gamekeeper from Worksop. I'm going to need a gamekeeper from Worksop. Where's my gamekeeper from Worksop? You, sir, in the orange coat. Over you come. This man had walked for 3 whole days to get from Worksop to Nottingham. He was 6'2" when he set out. The other competitor was none other than Sir Guy of Gisborne. For whatever you say about Gisborne, he was a fine archer. Over you go, sir. The final competitor left in the competition was an old beggar man. No one could work out quite how he'd been able to stay in the competition, but he'd shot well, and he deserved his chance to shoot along with everyone else. Over you go, beggar man. Overacting all the way. The first to shoot was the gamekeeper. The gamekeeper stood in front of the target. The sheriff took a step back because he was a bit worried about being shot. The gamekeeper took aim at the target. The sheriff lifted his arm. He dropped his arm. The gamekeeper fired. Ooh. It went into the red. It was not a brilliant shot. The crowd clapped politely. Rather upset with his performance, the gamekeeper moved aside. Up swaggered Gisborne! The crowd booed and hissed to try and put him off. Gisborne merely laughed at them over his shoulder. Gisborne took aim. When the sheriff lifted his arm. The sheriff dropped his arm. He fired. Ooh, he went into the yellow. It was really good. The crowd shouted, "Oh no!"
Oh no!
Happy with his performance, Gisborne moved aside. Up stumbled the old beggar. I'm loving it. He took aim at the target. The sheriff lifted his arm. He dropped his arm. The beggar fired straight to the centre of the goal. Stay there. The beggar had won. The sheriff came and spoke to the beggar.
You shoot well, old man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Where did you shoot? Where did you learn how to shoot that?
In the service of the king.
In the service of the king.
Now the king he meant was the good king, King Richard, who was away fighting the Crusades, who'd left the country in the hands of evil men such as the sheriff. It was meant as an insult and was taken as such. The sheriff was furious. He shouted to his guards, more in hope than anything else.
Seize him!
His guards leapt to his feet, but before they could move very far, the beggar threw off his coat. It was Robin Hood! He shouted to his men,
Now, merry men.
Now, merry men!
At that point, a section of the crowd moved forward, and they closed with the merry men, and a terrible sword fight began! Join in! Keep going! Be careful, don't hurt anyone! Make sure you've read the entertainer's guidelines before you continue. And one by one, the sheriff's men went down injured. Down you go. Robin seized the silver arrow and returned to Sherwood. The gamekeeper went with them. Couldn't face the walk back. The sheriff was furious. Come here, sheriff. Stand just there. Show them what furious looks like. Gisborne! Get up! Gisborne got up.
You're useless.
I'm sorry. I'll do better next time.
You better. And you soldiers. Get up. Get back to the castle. I'll deal with you later.
It was a sorry bunch of men. All this way, chaps. Over you go. That way. Lovely. And can I have the knight as well? Can you go that way as well, sir? Over you go that way, chaps. Over you go. It was a sorry bunch of men who returned to the castle, but let me tell you this, it was a much happier group of men who returned to the forest. And so, good people, that is the end of my first tale today. That is how Robin became known as an outlaw, and also the finest archer in the land. But before I allow you to leave and go on to your next venture today, I crave your indulgence a moment longer. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please put your hands together for the wonderful performances you have seen. Children, onto the stage, onto the stage, onto the stage. Look at the audience, look at the audience. Get ready. And bow, and bow, and bow, and bow, and get off. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining in. We are back again at 1:30 today with a show that isn't programmed. We're back with Robin Hood's Greatest Adventure at 1:30. So whatever it says in the programme, ignore it.
All that acting has made me hungry. Now I'm going to have my dinner.
We'll see when she's finished.
I'm all filled up and ready to go.
Down there. So I better get up now, Hunter. Right, off we go.
Well, welcome to you all. Are you well? No. Are you sure? Are you sure you're sure? Are you sure that you are sure that you are sure? That's true. You sound sure. Well, welcome to our glade. This fine figure of a man is Master Elias, teller of tales. He tells stories of Robin Hood, kings, queens, outlaws. My name is Master John, teller of tales. Tell us apart, I've got the watch yet. Well, here we are. So, what we like to do is start with a riddle. It's a tricky riddle. If you get the answer to the riddle, you win a story. If you get the riddle wrong, you win 2 stories. What about that then? Alright, the riddle is simply this. My pouch around my waist is empty, and yet it still has something in it. How so? What is in it? Money! No, it's the wrong answer. It is a good answer. No, I shall say it again. My pouch is empty, and yet it still has something in it. How so? Air. It has air in it, but that's not the thing I'm talking about. It's a good answer, but it is not the right answer.
Yeah, because it might be.
No, that's going to push it.
Material is in it. I like that. That shows cunning thought. You have the makings of an outlaw. It is not material, no. Anybody in the back? People like that, I'm just having lunch. I'm not going to do any work. Anybody else? My friend here. No, it's not money. Yeah. My pouch is empty. And yet it still has something in it. What is it? It's not money, it's not air, it's not material.
Something.
Something. That's true. But what something? What? But the inside's in it. Ooh, I like that, that's very clever. The inside's in it. But well, the inside is in it. That's the wrong answer. It's a good answer though, I like it. Nothing. No, it does have something in it. It has something in it. None of you are going home until you get this right. You'll still be here at midnight if I have to. Anybody else? My friend? Leather! Nope, not leather. It's actually something in it. Shall I give you a clue? For £5, I'll give you a clue.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. The reason why it is empty is because of the thing that's in it. That is a good clue. That's about as best as they get.
Is it a hole?
It is a hole! It is a hole in my pouch. This good lady deserves a round of applause. I said riddles, I didn't say they were good riddles, I just said riddles. So you win a story for everyone, my friend. I'll tell you what to do.
Well, we're in the Greenwood, so I think it's only fair that we should have a Robin Hood story. If you'd like... Not too close. If you want a Robin Hood story, go hurrah! If you want a Robin Hood story, go hurrah! If you want a Robin Hood story, go hurrah! And know this. It was summer in the Greenwood, but it was late summer. But there was a waft of wood smoke in the air, and as my story starts, it finds Robin Hood and his merry men sitting beneath a trysting tree, a great oak in the middle of Sherwood, around a great roaring fire. And as they sat there, they warmed their hands. And as they warmed their hands, they also feasted upon the king's finest beer, the Sheriff of Nottingham's finest wine. And as they feasted upon wine and meat and deer and fine things such as that, they listened to the stories of young Ned, a young outlaw newly returned to the Greenwood from his village. And as they listened to his tales, sometimes they smiled, sometimes they were saddened by what they heard. For he told them of births, of deaths, of weddings. He told them of a calf recently born with 2 heads. Has anyone here ever seen a calf with 2 heads? It's a bit weird, isn't it? But they saved the best to last. For now he told them of a competition soon to be held in Nottingham to find the finest archer, the best bowman in the whole of Merry England. It was the sheriff's idea, says Ned, and he's had a silver arrow made which is fletched and tipped with gold to give to the winner as a prize. A prize to be handed over by the Sheriff of Nottingham's beautiful young wife, a fair young woman for such a foul man as he. Well, at this news, Robin and his men began to argue about who should go to take part in the competition, who should go to stand guard. Only one amongst the merry band did not join in, and that was Robin's girlfriend, whose name was Maid Marian, not Made in Britain, Maid Marian. She said, "You are all fools and dullards, and you, Robin of the Hood, you are the biggest ninny hammer of them all. For as sure as Little John is the tallest amongst us, Friar Tuck is the widest, I'll tell you now, the sheriff is as cruel and as cunning as a hungry wolf. He will be watching, he will be waiting for you." But Robin laughed as only Robin could. He went, "No!" How did he go? Oh, come on, you're in the Greenwoods now, a bit more lusty, go on. He knew it was a trick, and that was why he must go, to prove himself the finest archer, the best bowman in the whole of Merry England. The day of the competition arrived. Robin's men disguised themselves in rich men's garb and poor men's rags, and they made way for Nottingham. And when they got to that fair town, they'd never seen so much hustle and bustle, hustle and bustle. Every inn, every alehouse was full with archers from across the land, full of those who had come to watch the sport. Robin and his men had no problem hiding behind booth and stall, between the apple-cheeked wife of many a rich merchant. And now all stood waiting, all stood watching, all stood looking at the silver arrow. For there it hung between two thin willow wands, two sticks stuck in the ground in front of the sheriff's throne. And there was the cruel and heartless Sheriff of Nottingham. He was watching, he was waiting for Robin Hood. But of Robin there was no sign. And now it was 12 noon, the sun was high in the sky, trumpets were blown, dogs were leashed, children were scooped up onto their parents' shoulders, as one by one, archers from across this land stepped forward. One by one, they fitted arrows of bow and let them loose at the great butts, the great target set at 50 paces. One by one, they shot their arrows. One by one, they were knocked out of the box. And now, as the sun began to fade, casting long shadows over the archery field, only 2 men were left. Listen. Are you all listening? The first. There's always one says no, but there is a fool in every great war, even in the Greek. The first. He was a nobleman, or so he claimed. He called himself Red Roger, or he called himself Roger of Doncaster. The common sort, the likes of all of you, they called him Red Roger, for he had the blood of many an English man, many an English woman, many an English child upon his hands. He was a sheriff's man. The other was an old man, bent low by time. He had holes in his boots, he wore a raggedy cloak, he wore a hood and a broad-brimmed hat which covered his face. And he went by the name of Working of the Wolf. All eyes upon the 2 men as the butts, the targets were moved back another 50 paces. Roger stepped forward. He fitted arrow to bow. He leapt. He aimed, he shot, his arrow sliced through the air, striking the very heart of the target. This was a fine shot. Such a good shot was this, there was a great cheer from the crowd. Yay! I said a great cheer! And now all fell silent. For all eyes were upon the old man, Working of the Wold. The old man stepped forward, he fitted arrow to bow, he led, he aimed, he shot. The arrow, it whirred, it hummed, it spun, it struck the centre of the target, right next to Roger's arrow. 2 arrows side by side, another fine shot. Another great cheer from the crowd. But now, all fell silent, for so close were the 2 arrows side by side that no one knew who won the competition. No one knew what to do until the old man Working spoke up. He said, how would it be that we leave these childish games? For instead of shooting at those great big buttons, I think he said we should shoot at those 2 thin willow wands. And he pointed to the 2 thin sticks that held up the silver arrow. Roger was forced to agree. He said, yes, we'll stick them in the ground at 50 places, 1 arrow per man, and the one who gets his arrow the closest, he shall be the winner. But now the old man Working began to laugh. He said 50 paces, 50 paces. Ha! He said, ha! What did he say? He said it again. He said a boy, new to the bow in my village, he could easily hit one of those at 50 paces. Why don't we make it 200 paces? Actually, it was a gasp, but I'll let you off because you weren't there. There was a great from the crowd. They'd never heard the like. Roger was forced to agree, both men waiting as 200 paces were counted out. The 2 thin willow wands were stuck in the ground. Red Roger stepped forward. He fitted arrow to bow. He led, he aimed, body and bow beginning to shiver and shake, but this was an impossible shot. He used the arrow, it flew through the air, and more by left than sudden hit the very edge of a stick, sending a small piece of bark flying through the air. This was a fine shot. Not even enough. It was more of a great cheer. We'll get to the oohs and ahs later. But now all fell silent. For all eyes were upon the old man, working of the world. The old man took his time. He picked up his bow, that's not a bow. He whispered wondrous words. He fitted an arrow to bow. He leant, he aimed, he shot. The arrow, it whirred, it hummed, it spun, it twirled, it struck a wand, splitting it in two. For a moment there was silence. None could believe their eyes. Then there was a great ooh from the crowd. Then there was an ah from the crowd. Then there was another ooh at the quality of the ah-ring. Then there was an E. And then there was a great cheer from the crowd. They surged forward, they scooped up the old man working at the wall. They carried him towards the sheriff smiled at the rise of the silver arrow, which she had and she was indeed that fair young woman. He gave her a saucy smile. Like that one there. But that smile was the bee's undoing. But now the cruel and heartless sheriff of Nottingham was watching. He recognised the smile in the corner of the old man's eye. But this was no old man really. It was! It was! Let's try once more. The sheriff leapt to his feet and he said, Robin Hood, Robin of the Hood, you have nodded your last word in non-season. But it was too long. For Robin's merry band had come from behind Newgate Store. They snatched Robin back into the crowd. They ran with the good streets of Nottingham and the good people of that good town. They ran behind to let Robin and his men through. But they closed up some of the highways. Stopped the sheriff. Very soon Robin was out of the town and into the countryside. But made married and he quite well. The sheriff was as cruel and as cunning as a hungry wolf. But early that day he posted soldiers all highways and byways and traffic leading back to the countryside. Robin remembered was to leave the track, to run over hill and valley, until in the distance they saw a castle rising square, straight and hill, surrounded by a moat. And as they got close, the forewind was lowered and they ran to sea. And this was the castle of Sir Richard of the Lee, friends of Robin Hood. But how they became friends, well, I'm afraid that's a story. My friend has another, but you have to earn it with a riddle.
No, we are. So we never.
Listen carefully. Mary's mother had 4 children. Their names were April, May, June. What was the 4th? Say it loudly. You're clever, you are, aren't you? The answer was Mary, because Mary's mother had 4 children. Hey, give her a clap.
Well, come a bit closer if you want to hear the next story. Just a little bit closer. If you're at the back, come a little bit closer.
First of all, there should be a good deal of preparation by these young people. But then the actual transformation itself, sir, you will need to capture that in detail. Now, good people, we begin here with the prima materia. That is our name for the thing that we begin with, you see. Some say the prima materia must be some precious thing, diamonds, and some say it must be mercury, and some say it can be anything like dog's muck. But in this case I use a certain secret rock from Mesopotamia. For there is in Mesopotamia a certain secret cave, and in that secret cave there is a certain secret rock, and I have fragments of that rock here. Fragments of the secret rock of Mesopotamia. Yeah, so. And these young people will grind this to powder. Now, to begin with is somewhat perilous. If you want to turn that, everyone. Because as I begin to crack it, it jumps out, and little stones jump out. And when you draw close, fellow, with your sharp eyes you watch, and if you see a stone jump out, you pick it up and put it back. So let's begin, and then after that you people can continue. First of all we must be circum... Oh, there was one went there somewhere. Even I can see it, and I don't... That's it. Have you found it? That's good. By and by it will stop jumping out, and then you people can grind it. Stop jumping out. So what you must do now is grind it.
It's powder.
The powder.
That's going to be the hard part.
It is. So these young people will labour. First you will do it hard, and then you do it hard, and then Anastasia perhaps do it. So go to then. Well, this company is all agog to see this wonder. Come a little closer if you will. Now I can see that, what's the name again?
Lauren.
Lauren. I'm just saying your name. I see that Lauren is a good worker. Does she work in the kitchen for you?
She does everything.
Does she? Oh, that's good. Now that's the difference, well I mustn't say it, between boys and girls. But I've had two girls, I've reared 2 girls and 2 boys. And I know what I prefer. There was a woman here. This is the truth. I think she had 7 children, and no, she had 6 children and 1 inside her, and they were all boys. And I thought, what misfortune! I thought. She didn't think it was misfortune. But 7 boys, God help us. I think I'd have left home if that happened. Now, I'll have a go now, and then Anastasia can do it. Now you can do it perhaps, and then you again, and then you again. And by, when we've done it a few times, it will be ready for the transformation.
Not shy, are you?
She'll go far in life, won't she? That's good. I like a woman who you'll say, let's do this, and they say, yes, let's do it. That's the sort of woman I like. Now, I'll do it a little. And then you do it, and then then you do it, and then it's done, you see? Then shall we see wonders? Now, Anastasia, the last, and then we shall proceed. that will serve. Now, I'll pour it out into the crucible. Yes. There we have it. The results of your work there, do you see? Good work. Now, where's my assistant?
Behind you.
That's it for you. Oh, we put it this way. Now, my assistant has brought the fourth arcanum. This is the fourth arcanum by which we effect a transformation. Now, you two must go along, and what you've got to do is stir it, so you need to look on the ground for little twigs. Each one of you needs a twig, so off you go and find it. It's quick. Oh, it's quick. Oh, well, never mind. This is the fourth arcanum, and if you like, you may smell it. Anyone may smell it. Would you like to smell it, sir? No? No. Here's a good fellow, you see. Now, smell it, sir. Now, you will agree with me, it does not have a smell. There's no smell.
I'll smell it.
Good smell.
Any smell, Lauren?
Not very good smell, because I can't even smell anything up.
Then there's nothing to
You
smell.
won't smell it because it doesn't have a smell. So, is it water? What do you think? Is it water?
It's clear, it's a liquid.
Yes, indeed, sir. Now, you two, will you get ready to stir? So come close and get ready to stir. Come along, that's right, get ready to stir and put them in. Put those chicks in. Now, can everybody see? And now begin to stir. And then the dragon's blood will come. And so we do effect a transformation of the Mesopotamian stone into dragon's blood. You may stop stirring now if you will. There we have it, dragon's blood. Examine it there. A complete transformation. Dragon's blood. Now, you may say to me, Madam, will you see this, will you not? There's nothing to fear. Dragon's blood there, sir.
Okay, lovely.
And you, there, sir, don't you see? You may say to me, what is the use of dragon's blood?
What is the use of
What is the use of dragon's
Yes,
blood?
well, yes, well, I'm glad you asked me. Because it can be transformed again into the most terrible poison. Shall we make some poison?
Okay.
Oh, you don't sound very keen. Shall we make some poison?
Yes.
Yes. Of course we should. So, I take again the fourth arcanum. There, so get ready to stir again. And don't stir too vigorously, just gently stir. And I add it so. And the poison comes. Bubbling poison.
I would not touch that.
Here, the bubbling poison. Who would like a sip of bubbling poison?
No, thank you.
Did you see that, madam?
Does that poison actually kill you?
Of course.
That's what poison does.
Now, I'll demonstrate it if you like. What we do is, we poison the dog. Now, can anybody see a dog anywhere? There were dogs everywhere not
There's
long
one down there.
Where?
Down there.
No, no. Will you very politely, you're the one to do it, Lauren, very politely say please can we poison your dog? Go on, ask.
Please can we poison your dog?
Poison my dog?
Yes.
No, I wouldn't like that very much.
It's in the interest of science, madam.
Only if she'll return to normal after.
No, she'll be dead.
No, I can't allow it then.
You are a spoiled sport. Is there another dog somewhere?
Yeah.
Where?
No.
One here. Well, look, what? There's one there. Now, come along, you two, off and say, be very, very polite and say, please can we poison your dog? And Laura will go.
Please can we poison your dog?
Oh.
Please can we poison your dog?
Poison if you want to, yeah.
Yes? Can we poison it? Very good. Bring it here, sir, bring it here. Now, what's this dog's name?
Bella.
Bella. This is Bella, ladies and gentlemen. Now, can the children pat your dog?
Of course can, yeah.
Yes. So I hope you keep it under control. But you can pat the dog. Anyone would like to pat the dog? Oh, it's a lovely dog, isn't it? Bella. That's good.
Bye-bye, Bella.
Ah, yes. Anyone else like to pat Bella? No, we all say goodbye, Bella. Do you see?
Bella.
Goodbye, Bella. So now, shall I poison this dog now?
No.
Who says yes? Who says no?
No.
No?
No.
Oh well, looks as if we can't do it then. But thank you, sir,
all right,
for
pleasure.
your offer. Very good of you. But it looks as if we can't go through with this experiment.
That's a shame. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
very good. It is a shame, but never mind. So we'll cast it away. There.
So, are you strong? Yeah? Right, try this one first. Okay, are you left or right-handed? Right. Okay, so you're going to hold that in your left hand, and we're going to start by aiming at this red soldier, okay?
You're very welcome.
So, show me the position that you'd stand in. So, turn your feet round to me. Turn your feet round to me.
Come on.
That's what's catchy now.
Patrick. Patrick.
There we go. Okay.
Okay.
Do it, so just hold that up towards the soldier. Remember to
Oh.
keep that elbow
Well,
like
stop.
that.
Did you get the seal? Yeah.
Okay. Tips of your fingers, not your full palm. Tips of your fingers on that screen. No, tips of your fingers. There we go, that's it.
Yeah, the whole day, just
You remember?
We went like that. Okay, so literally just let go with your fingers.
I think that's it. I got it from the green light
I think I don't reckon you've probably grown a lot since then.
Yeah, I put it here. I was up to here.
Nice and high. Pull, and loose.
And outside, I looked before.
A little bit more pull on that bow. So pull your hand back a little bit closer to your face. Same thing again. Tips of your fingers.
Oh, it's coming off.
Yep, that's because you need to use the tips of your fingers.
Got it. Now still trying to find
Pull.
get that big whip.
Shot.
Stop. Get that. I'll never get that.
This time we're going to go for that red one. Okay, so take hold of your bow. So same thing, aim that one at the red one.
Mummy, I should have got that big whip. Well, I only got one.
Unlucky, Larry.
I got yeah, and then try for the bell.
You want to try for the bell, okay? So remember, pull it back, keep that arm in a little bit then.
I'll fast first. Anyone need?
What are we going for now, the bell?
It's just you guys left.
Yeah.
You in?
So, right, take your time, remember, twist your shoulders to me. Wait, listen.
I'm so
Nice and nice try though.
Well done, Larry. Did you enjoy that?
Bye.